wonderful viewers. It's me again, Mary Luque Sugabo, bringing another exciting and informative lesson. So stay with me. Good day, everyone. This is me again, Mary Luque Sugabo, and in this presentation, I will discuss literature circles as a active learning strategy. In 21st century classroom, learners are no longer limited to listening and memorizing. Learners are expected to think critically, communicate effectively, collaborate with others, and responsible for their own learning. Again, this lesson is all about literature circles as an active learning strategy. Keep listening. Now, let me start it with a question. Have you ever understood a story better after discussing it with your friends or classmates? That is the power of literature circles. Instead of just one learner or student doing all the talking, every learner has their own role in understanding the text. That's why Confucius once said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." That quote emphasizes that involvement leads to better understanding and deep critical thinking. But why is literature circles is an active learning strategy? Because students do something more than just listening. They think about their learning, discuss ideas, solve problems, and create a creative output. But what is really literature circles? Literature circles is a structured, peer-led discussion in which learners read the same text and perform different roles. These roles rotate so that every learner contributes in various ways. Literature circles transform classroom from teacher-centered to student-centered, where they encourage participation, critical thinking, communication, and responsibility for their own learning. Literature circles also based on social constructivist theory, particularly the idea of Levi Vygotsky. Learning happens through social interaction and scaffolding. Teacher first give guidance at the beginning and gradually letting the student do it independently. Now, let's proceed to example roles of literature circles. First is discussion leader. Discussion leader leads the discussion and asks questions. The next one is summarizer that gives a short summary of the reading. Next is questionnaire, creates critical or thoughtful questions. Next one is link maker or connector that connects the text to real life or other texts. The next one is line catcher. Line catcher chooses important lines. And the last one is designer, which creates a visual representation of the reading or the text. Notice also that every role requires a different thinking skills. Some focus on comprehension, others on analysis, creativity, or communication. To really understand how literature circles work, I have here presented the steps in doing this strategy. After assigning them into groups and forming them into circle, you can do these steps. So the first step is reading the material. So students read the assigned text carefully. The second one is assigning roles. So each learner receives a specific role. The third step is individual task. So students work independently on their role. Then the fourth step is sharing outputs, where group members discuss and compare their ideas. Then the last step is reporting, which the group presents a collective understanding of the text. So why is literature circle effective? Literature circles develop both academic and lifelong skill. For example, our critical thinking, where students analyze and question ideas. Then our collaboration. Students work together respectfully. The next is our communication. Students express ideas confidently. And last, our creativity. Students create visual and meaningful outputs on their assigned tasks. To conclude, literature circles are more than just reading activity. They are powerful active learning strategy that transform students from passive listeners into active participants. Through structured roles, collaborative discussion, and guided reflection, learners become more engaged, independent, and thoughtful readers. As future teachers, we should not only teach students what to read, but also how to think, discuss, and learn together. Thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation helps you appreciate the value of literature circles in creating meaningful and student centered learning experiences. Bye bye!